Hello and welcome to my Media Museum. Today we're up to episode 19 of our 45 RPM vinyl records mix box number 11. So we've had quite a few of these we've gone through, and we've made it pretty much up to where I said we was going to have a lot of collectibles distributors here. Back-to-back hit series on this particular one, clearly marked as the A side, and it's a song called Hello Stranger by Barbara Lewis, which is not something I'm familiar with, although the notations here say it hit number 3 in May of 1963 on the charts. So there again, a lot of these that I'm not familiar with the names and the artists could very well be songs I'd know if I heard them. The B side is again Barbara Lewis on this particular one, and a song called Baby I'm Yours, which she apparently hit number 11 on the charts in July of '65. So next up, that one was just in a clear white sleeve. I meant to point out the next one we've got a nice cool sleeve. I haven't really shown off this collectible sleeves in a while, and since I've got a variety of them here handy in the next couple, we'll go over them so you can get a view of them. The back sides also vary a little bit. I have shown a lot of these, the back sides anyways, that is. But I don't think I'd noticed this particular front in the past. So here we've got Claudine Clark doing Party Lights, and that one seems to kind of ring a bit of a bell for me. Clearly marked as the A side. Hit number 5 in July of 1962. And on the B side of this particular one, we don't have an artist listed, an actual artist. It just says arranged and conducted by Jerry Ragovoy, something along those lines. Song called Disappointed. Doesn't have any notations on here, so I don't know if this one hit it up in the charts, but it is noted as the B side. And this side, had some notation, so I'm sure this is the song that the guy I acquired these from had purchased to acquire this song on 45 for his collection. And next up, here we've got a different collectible sleeve. See, we've got the, looks like 50s garb kids next to a nice jukebox, which I'd like to have a nice jukebox, but I don't know where I'd put it if I did. And backside of this one's a little bit different. It's got that advertisement for the porta-case that they were selling for a mere $9.50 plus a mere $4.50 shipping and handling on top of it. So, and if you were unlucky enough to live in Pennsylvania, you had to pay 6% sales tax on top of all that. I wonder what this "we do not bill." Okay, I don't know what that's about. Cash on demand, no COD, probably is what they were referring to there. I don't know. So, but anyways, that pretty much covers that sleeve there for us. And next up, we got a number 1 hit by George McCrae, "Rock Your Baby," in June of 1974. And like I said, all these collectibles are reissues. None of these are the original time that this song came out on 45, but rather, back-to-back hit series again on that particular one. The B side is a song by George McCrae as well, called "I Get Lifted," that apparently only hit number 37 on the charts with that one in March of '75. I'd like to see one of their catalogs, send for free catalog. I should look them up online, see if they're still in business, see if they have any catalogs to be had, because they did really good pressings. Some of them are really sturdy, really solid discs. Not all of them, and you'll notice that Petula Clark, if I can catch it in the light just right, you'll see, yeah, there's a production flaw. See that right there? Where there was something else on the stamp. It'll still play, but it is visibly noticeable. So here's another different collector's series sleeve for the collectibles distributor. And kind of patriotic there. Not necessarily much white, but we got the red and the blue going on. And then the back side is another ad for their porta case, but it's a little different than the ad that we just saw a minute ago on that other sleeve. Although the pricing was a little cheaper here, $9.50 plus $4.50 shipping here, so it was 50 cents cheaper at the time that this sleeve was produced than at the time of the previous sleeve that we just looked at. And we've got the Impressions doing Gypsy Woman. And that one hit number 20 in November of 1961. There again, I don't know it. 1973 is probably the time of this reissue. I think they were really big in the 80s. So that might just be the time that 73 might be when MCA licensed it from whoever originally had it. This one's interesting because it's got Curtis Mayfield as the writer for this Impression song, It's Alright, which hit number 4 in October of 63. I'll have to look at the writing credits on the other side. It's got Curtis Mayfield wrote Gypsy Woman too, so maybe he was originally a part of the Impressions. I don't know. I'm not a follower of Mayfield and don't know his work very well, but wouldn't surprise me. So next up, we've got another one that looks like the exact same sleeve we just looked at, so we won't really go over that again. Well, we've got The Moments doing Love on a Two-Way Street. Hit number 3 in April of 1970. And pretty much for the most part, all of these are ones that don't ring bells for me. I don't recognize them. I not know the artists, like I've heard of the Impressions, but I haven't heard of The Moments. And the B-side is at least again another Moments song, Not on the Outside. And this one doesn't have any notations on it, so no idea about any chart positioning on that one, if there was. So, next up, we've seen this one just recently too. I think I already went through the variances of the collectibles that I have in this short stack here. So, but this song is The Crystals doing He's a Rebel. Hit number 1 in October of 62. That's kind of interesting. It is noted as being mono. That's always nice to have the original mono versions of songs that go back that far, rather than them trying to do a fake stereo where they just offset the channels a little bit. You actually get kind of just more of an echo actually than a stereo effect. But some of these simulated stereos that they try to do on some of these old classic 50s and 60s songs, on some of these remarketing attempts on CD in the 80s and 90s, they weren't real studio versions. They didn't actually have the master tapes to go back and redo transfers from. So they come up with this fake stereo way for them to try and market. It was all about marketing and selling. But this is an interesting Phillies Records. I don't remember seeing a collectibles with this Phillies Records logo on there, so that makes this one a little unique out of the stack that we have here. This one's interesting as it's got Phil Spector noted as the arranger on it, but it's The Crystals produced by Phil Spector. He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss. Now that rings a big bell, and I think it may have even been early on in this series of videos where I've ran across a copy of this, and because I remember talking about how that title wouldn't be very politically correct these days and probably wouldn't go over too well, but He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss. That sounds a little abusive. So I know that I had, and it was not this label. I think I had an original copy of that one recently that we shared with you. So next up, we've got the Delphonics, and I have heard of the Delphonics. That is a band that rings a bell for me, but La La Means I Love You doesn't ring any bells for me. It's clearly the A side. I love that, most of these, not all of them, but most of these collectibles did notate the A and B sides for you. But that one supposedly hit number 4 in the charts in February of 1968. And you'll notice we got nickel shoe music. All these collectibles have all kinds of different, we had January Music Corp on that last one, and Gamby Music on the one before that. They've got all these different licenses noted on here because they were buying agreements to distribute these songs for all these different companies. They were tracking down who owned the rights to these songs so they could reproduce them mainly for the 45 jukebox market. But so you'll see a lot of different notations of music holders on these. The B-side of this one is another Delphonic song, and I'm Sorry. Now, I don't think that's the I'm Sorry, So Sorry. I think that was classic Patsy Cline or somebody, but this one I don't know what it is. Can't hum it for you. Not going to get a lot of humming or singing in these next few videos because I just don't know the songs. But we've got another Delphonics here up for the next one. And this one, this grouping, Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? It's kind of a cool title. But like I said, it doesn't ring any bells for me. It hit number 10 on the charts in February of 1970, apparently. And again, nickel shoe music, which doesn't surprise me because the last Delphonics was on nickel shoe music, so probably their whole catalog or a good portion of it was owned by the same corporation, company, whatever. I Gave to You being on the B side of this particular collectibles reissue, and don't know any of these songs. Just maybe, like I said, if we put them on, gave them a spin, I might recognize something here or there. I think this one's a little bit different. All the oldies are on collectibles than the ones that we just looked at earlier in this video. Original songs by original artists, and that's important because there was a lot of old classic compilations produced and distributed, especially in the 80s up into the 90s, where they weren't the original artists. They were the original songs, but they were re-recordings. Sometimes they were the original artists doing re-recordings to produce a stereo version. But those didn't prove to be too popular, and I've ran across a few of them, and they're usually less than stellar. So you wanted those original artists, original recordings as much as possible, especially if you were trying to relive some memories and stock your jukebox. So here we've got Five Satins, To the Aisle. To the Aisle, yeah. Hit number 25 in August of 57. Yeah, that's going back a few years. And the Five Satins on the B-side there again with Wish I Had My Baby. You, baby. Alright, well that's going to wrap up episode 19 for us. I hope you enjoyed that. Give me some thumbs up if you did. And subscribe if you really enjoyed it so you won't miss episode 20 when it comes along. Until then, have a wonderful time.